This is Jasmine with Cherry Arts, and today we're going to be creating citrus prints. All you need are varying types of citrus from your refrigerator: lemons, clementines, oranges, cut in half. Make sure you ask a parent for some help with that one. And some paint. We're going to make some really cool prints today. With these, we're trying to pick up the texture of the fruit to act as a stamp or a block print. To begin, we're going to need to pick out some paper that the prints can look good on. I've selected some paper from my sketchbook, but you can use some construction paper or even some plain white printer paper. Anything will do while we're playing and practicing. You're also going to need some cheap acrylic paint. This is the cheapest one I could get from the hobby store, and a little plastic plate. Nothing fancy here. As well, you're going to need some paintbrushes. You can use the old hard ones in the bottom of your drawer or brand new ones. It doesn't really matter for this. You're also going to need a cup of water to keep those brushes clean. The first step is to lay your paper out on the table. Pick which fruit you want. I'm going to start with an orange because I like the texture and the shape of the middle of it. Take your brush, get it a little damp, and dip it in your paint. Brush a nice even coating across the citrus. Make sure you get down inside those little crevices, but you don't want to soak it all the way through. You especially don't want any clumps. Once it's fully covered, go ahead and press it against the paper like a stamp, applying even pressure across the entire backside of the fruit. Once it feels done, peel it up and see how you've transferred the texture from the fruit to the paper. We're going to try to get a little bit more paint on here because we want to really see the texture. This time, we're going to add more paint and cover it for a little bit longer. Once it feels good and looks like you filled all the little crevices, press it against the paper, applying even pressure across the entire backside of your fruit stamp. Looks pretty good. We like to layer things and try different shapes. This is a lemon. I really like the seeds in it because it might pick up some cool texture. So I'm painting it pretty evenly, covering it all the way across, making sure not to miss any spots. Lemon's pretty wet, so I need to apply a little bit more paint here than I normally would. Push it against the paper and peel it on up. Looks pretty good. The lemon's a little moist, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint and try again. Practice makes perfect, so I'm not too worried about this looking really wonderful the first time around. Looks pretty good. Seems like we could get a little bit more texture out of the print though, so we're going to try a clementine. This has some nice shape to it and it's a little softer and rounder. We're going to cover it in paint, making sure we're not missing the edges at all and we're not leaving any clumps. And we're going to layer this one to see what it looks like as we're making these fun new patterns. Clementine looks pretty good. Each of the fruits gives you a totally different and distinct print, so play around with different things. There's no wrong way to do it. Eventually you can get some really good prints and make some really cool patterns.